In a video discussing whether the USA is an old country or not, I said it depends because the definition is subjective and inconsistently implied. In fact, by some definitions, you could say that the European Union is a country, but most people probably wouldn't say that it is. So by what definitions is the European Union a country? Well, let's take a look at some of those definitions. Oxford Languages, the one used by Google, says a nation with its own government occupying a particular territory. Well, that's certainly true of the European Union. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, an area of land with fixed borders that has full or limited control over its own government and laws. Again, that applies to the EU. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica Dictionary, an area of land that is controlled by its own government, like the EU. According to vocabulary.com, a country is a nation, a body of land with one government, like the EU. Now you might be thinking, oh, but it's not just one government. Every member state, every country has its own government. Well, that's true, but that's also true of pretty much every country. You have subnational divisions with their own governments. You have cities and other municipalities with their own governments too. Now the Merriam-Webster one I find a bit odd because their number one definition is like the vast expanse of land or countryside. But then their second definition says the land of a person's birth, residence, or citizenship. Okay, that counts for the EU. But then you might say, oh, well, they're citizens of their country, the EU member states, not the EU. Well, according to the EU, every national of one of their member states is also an EU citizen. So by pretty much every definition that I see on the first page of Google results, you could say that the EU is a country, but I'm pretty sure most of us wouldn't say that, right? And then you have places like Somaliland, which is basically completely functions as its own country. They have their own currency, their own passports, their own government. And as far as I can tell, every single foreigner, including people from Somalia, not Somaliland, need a Somaliland visa to enter Somaliland. While some countries do have some kind of diplomatic relation with Somaliland, as far as I'm aware, no country officially recognizes their existence. At least no officially recognized country officially recognizes their existence. Half Interesting video has more details on why that is. But the point is, yeah, the definition of a country can be quite tricky. What is and is not a country is very subjective. And even when something counts as a country by pretty much every definition, it's not necessarily a country. I took a class about the European Union and its history, and it seems to me that it's very similar to what the US was under the Articles of Confederation, and it's only getting closer to that. There are some laws and rights that the EU government enforces that the US under the Articles of Confederation couldn't. And then there's places like the UK, which is widely recognized as a country, but made up of 4 places that are also widely recognized as countries. So what you consider to be a country is entirely based on political opinions and statements. And whether you want to include the EU or not, that's up to you. Let us know what you think.